You walk slowly down a cobbled street. The morning fog settles around you like wool, soft, thick, and pale. The far end of the street has disappeared, swallowed into a gray curtain of silence. Only the faintest outlines remain, blurred and still, like forgotten memories lingering in the air. The air is cool on your face, but not biting. There's a scent in the mist, a trace of coal smoke, gentle and familiar. And somewhere far away, the faint sweetness of roasted chestnuts. You pull your wool cloak a little tighter, feeling the fabric rough against your neck. A simple comfort in this quiet world. Your footsteps press gently on damp stones. And though they make a sound, a soft tap-tap, the fog swallows it quickly, making everything seem slower. Softer, as though wrapped in cotton. From a distant corner, you hear the slow rumble of a carriage. Its wheels turn patiently, rhythmically. As if the vehicle has no need to hurry. As if it has emerged from another time. Drifting through a dream of the past. The street lamps still burn. Pale yellow light glows behind rippled glass, casting soft circles onto the stones below. One lamp flickers as you pass, its metal post dusted with frost. The crystals delicate and clear, like the breath of winter captured in stillness. An old man moves past you slowly, pushing a squeaky wooden cart. Upon it, several polished copper kettles exhale thin trails of steam. The lids rattle lightly as the pressure breathes out. You nod to him. He smiles back, a kind, quiet smile. And that smile, like the steam, disappears gently into the morning mist. Above, a pigeon takes flight from a ledge. Its wings beat the still air with a soft, hollow sound. It circles twice over the fog-shrouded street, before landing again on a stone post, folding its wings, and curling back into the warmth of its feathers. This is London in the winter. Not fierce, not cruel, but wrapped in a silence that understands you. The city doesn't boast its colors here. It whispers. It holds you. You pass by an iron gate, its surface etched with rust like the lines of time. Inside, a small garden has surrendered to the season. Bare branches curve like the strokes of forgotten poems, scattered across cold soil. Someone pulls back a curtain from a high window. A beam of pale light stretches out, cutting gently into the fog like a golden thread. You feel it reach your shoulder. And with it comes a calm warmth. Subtle, but enough to settle your chest. Then, a sound. A bell. Not loud, not sharp, but deep, like a heartbeat in the air. Another follows. Then another. The slow, steady chime of a distant church bell. Reminding the world, you are here. You are now. You continue walking. The street doesn't seem to end. Nor does it need to. There's no destination, only the rhythm of your steps. And the quiet breath of the city. A door opens across the way. You catch the warm aroma of bread baking, butter melting, flour toasting in a nearby oven. It reaches you like a soft blanket. And you pause, letting your shoulders relax. You inhale slowly. And the scent fills you. Fog and coal. Damp stone and roasted dough. A lullaby written in smell. You stop. You close your eyes. Everything is still. The city, the fog, the street, the pigeons, the man with the cart. All of it suspended in a peaceful moment that belongs only to now. You feel the stone beneath your feet. You feel the weight of your coat. And you feel something deeper. A quiet presence around you. As if London itself is breathing with you. This is a city that dreams. A city that has learned the language of silence and speaks it fluently. And you have entered its opening chapter. The cobblestones hum beneath your boots. The lamps glow like watchful stars. And above, behind the veil of fog, the sun waits. Not yet risen, but near. There will be light. But not yet. Now is the time for dreams. The streets are still quiet. The morning fog hasn't vanished, but it's thin now, no longer a heavy blanket, but a gentle veil draped across the shoulders of the city. You walk down a stone-paved road. The buildings on either side are close and low, their red brick walls damp with dew. The small windows are sectioned by fine leaded glass, and behind each one, you imagine a quiet world, closed off and self-contained. Above you, the sky is a dull, heavy gray, not dark, but blurred, as if someone had smudged charcoal across a pale canvas. The air carries the scent of coal smoke. It's not unpleasant, slightly bitter, slightly warm, a scent that belongs to this time, this place. Winter in London does not sting like ice. It presses gently, like a thick, damp blanket resting on your shoulders, inviting stillness rather than speed. You don't feel the need to speak, or to rush. Only to move slowly and notice. At a corner stands a tall factory chimney. You look up at it, the bricks are stained dark with soot. From its mouth, a stream of thick smoke rises into the dull sky. Spreading wide, like a feathered fan unfolding in slow motion. Behind the factory's iron gates, there's the sound of rhythm. Tap, tap, tap. It is the heartbeat of machines, of steam and iron. The city breathes through this sound. A line of small children walks quietly into the gate. Their coats are too thin, their scarves wrapped tightly. They move softly across the mud without a word. You watch them go, not with sadness, but with a kind of understanding. They are a part of this city, woven into its bones. You continue along the street. From each home, faint trails of smoke rise into the sky. Curling out of chimneys, leaking from window cracks. Behind doors, small fires crackle in iron stoves. The scent of burning coal is everywhere. You pass a doorway where a woman sweeps her step with a cloth. Her sleeves rolled up, her gaze drifting toward the street. She sees you, and then disappears inside again, not hurriedly, just quietly. Like she was never really there. You come to a small shop with a window display. Glass jars filled with tea leaves, sweets, and neatly folded papers. Behind the counter sits an old man with round spectacles. Slowly tightening the lid on a metal kettle. You pause outside, just watching. The man's hands move slowly, his posture relaxed. Something about the scene calms you. The way he seems to exist outside of time, as though everything in this moment is enough. The air is still cool, but your breathing grows deeper. Your body a little heavier, your thoughts a little softer. The road narrows now, turning into a smaller alley. Here, the cobbles are slick with thin snow. No longer white, but streaked with brown where boots have passed. You notice a cat curled on a burlap sack near a shuttered door. Its fur is black and white, the texture soft in the misty light. It glances at you, then tucks its head beneath its paw, returning to rest. Near a wall, a man stands in a long coat. He holds a pipe between his fingers, smoke rising in loose spirals. He doesn't move, doesn't speak. He simply stands, like part of the brick and stone. As if waiting for something that will never quite arrive. As you pass, he nods. You nod back. Not in greeting, but in quiet recognition. An understanding without words. You reach a bridge. Below it, the Thames moves slowly. Not frozen, but so still that it seems more like liquid stone. The river mirrors the sky, gray and pale, with barely a ripple. You touch the railing. It's smooth and icy, sending a soft chill through your hand. But the cold is not sharp, it feels more like a memory than a sensation. Like an old melody you've nearly forgotten. At the base of the bridge, waterbirds huddle on stone pillars, tucking their heads beneath their wings. They do not sing. They do not stir. You stand there for a while, watching the silence. The city, so vast and alive, seems to exhale slowly beneath the smoke. Not in pain, but in patience. This is a place that keeps its history close. That stores time in quiet corners. From the distance, a low whistle sounds. A soft horn, deep and round, echoing across the rooftops. Not urgent, but steady. A reminder of movement. Of continuity. You breathe in again. Coal, fog, warmth, stone. The sense of London's winter. Beneath the smoke, this city speaks gently. It tells stories without words. And for a little while, you are part of its quiet language. You've made your way to the southern bank of the Thames. Here, the city quiets even more. The stone-paved paths feel older, gentler, tilted ever so slightly, the edges softened with time. Like the worn corners of an old letter no one ever finished reading. Your footsteps press softly against the stones, producing a sound so delicate it barely disturbs the air. The fog still lingers, but it's changed. Now lighter, drifting like a silk scarf resting on the surface of the water, rising and falling with the river's slow breath. By the river stands an old tree. Its branches spread wide like a hand mid-gesture, frozen in the air. A few black birds perch among the limbs, their feathers catching what little gray light there is. They don't move. They don't speak. They simply exist, a quiet punctuation in the day. Near the water, an old wooden boat is moored to a stone post. Its hull is weathered, lined with green moss and softened with time. It has not moved in a long while. It does not need to. It is not here to take anyone anywhere, only to be, quietly. The river flows past. Not rushing, but whispering. Its sound is like a poem being recited from memory. Now and then, a leaf lands softly upon the surface and spins slowly away, disappearing around the bend like a fleeting thought. You walk slowly. The breeze wraps around you, not cold, but cool enough to make your coat feel meaningful. It carries a scent, part river mist, part chimney smoke, and something else. Something warm. You catch the faint aroma of bread baking in the distance, sweet and toasty. Just ahead, a man is fishing near the bank. He sits on a small wooden stool, draped in a thick wool shawl. His rod arcs gently over the water, the line vanishing into the slow current. He does not seem concerned whether anything bites. Perhaps he's not really fishing. Perhaps he's simply waiting for the day to pass through him. As the river passes beneath the sky, you nod to him. He lifts his hand slowly in return. His face lined with stories. Every wrinkle a season lived and remembered. You continue walking. The river remains beside you, constant and quiet. A row of cottages leans gently toward the water, each with a window softly glowing from within. A dog lies curled on a porch. It sees you approach but does not move. Just shifts an ear, then sinks deeper into its dream. Its breathing is slow, like the rhythm of the day. Above, the sky is beginning to change. Not into light, not yet, but into something softer. Behind the fog, something pale begins to stir. A promise, maybe. A thought not fully formed. You find a bench along the riverside. Iron-wrought and weathered, its surface is cool. But it accepts you like an old friend. You sit, resting your hands in your lap. And you listen. To the water, the distant bells, the quiet rustle of branches overhead. In this place, time seems to stretch. There is no rush, no destination. Only breath. Only presence. And for a few long minutes, you let go. Of yesterday. Of tomorrow. Of the need to be anywhere else. You are here. The river is here. London is here. Not as noise or movement, but as stillness. As history made soft. When you open your eyes, nothing has changed. And yet, you feel it. You are calmer, steadier. Held by the city. Held by the moment. And so the journey continues. Quiet as ever. Gentle as breath. And just as deep. Night has settled upon the city. Not like a curtain pulled in haste, but like a heavy velvet cloak. Slow, deliberate, and soft. The skies deepen from gray to blue to black. Not abruptly, but gently, like ink soaking into paper. One by one, the gas lamps light up. They glow amber behind frosted glass, spilling warm circles onto the cobbled streets. Their flicker isn't sharp or harsh. Just a quiet reminder that even darkness can offer comfort. You find yourself walking down a narrow alleyway. The brick walls beside you are damp with evening chill. But you're wrapped well in your coat. And the cold doesn't reach your bones. Your boots tap lightly. Each step finding its place among stones smoothed by countless years. At the end of the lane, an old wooden door creaks open, spilling a soft, flickering glow into the fog. A woman, elderly and wrapped in layers of wool, nods to you without words. Her silver hair shines like threads of moonlight under the fire's glow. She gestures for you to come inside. You step in. The warmth greets you instantly, like being folded into a memory. The air is thick with the scent of burning wood and fresh tea. The walls are close. Not cramped, but comforting, like the pages of an old book that you don't need to finish. There's a fireplace in the center of the room. The flames dance gently, casting long, golden shadows. A kettle rests on the hearth. And from its spout comes the soft hiss of steam. A whisper, a sigh, a lullaby in vapor. The woman motions toward a padded chair across from the fire. It looks like it's been waiting for you. You sink into it slowly. It yields. Not too much. Just enough to hold you without asking questions. You sit in silence. The fire speaks for both of you. It crackles, pops softly, and sighs again. Each flicker on the wall feels like the ticking of a clock that measures time differently. Time here is thick, slow. Honey poured onto old wood. She hands you a cup. Warm ceramic pressing against your palms. The tea inside is deep and fragrant, with hints of black leaves and something sweet, like memory and smoke. You lift it to your lips and sip. The heat fills your chest. It's not just tea. It's calm. In liquid form. Outside, the wind stirs. But here, inside, it's only a whisper behind the windowpanes. As though the night is breathing softly against the glass. A distant church bell chimes once. Then again. Not urgently. But like a soft heartbeat echoing through the city's slumber. The woman sits opposite you. Quiet and still. Her knitting needles resting beside her like tools long finished with their task. She reaches for a book. Its cover worn and corners folded. She opens it carefully. And begins to read aloud. Her voice is steady and low. Like the rhythm of waves against a riverbank. She reads slowly. Pausing often. Not to emphasize, but to let the silence between words become part of the story. You don't need to understand every word. You don't need to follow the plot. It is enough to listen. To feel the sound of her voice settle into your bones. You let your head rest back. The fire crackles. The tea cools in your hand. The book continues. Outside, the city folds itself into sleep. Horses are stabled. Lanterns are lowered. Footsteps grow scarce. Here, you are wrapped in stillness. In warmth. In a room lit not only by firelight, but by peace. You close your eyes. For now. You are safe. You are held. The world is paused. There is no past, no future. Only this gentle chapter. A night beside the hearth. The city had not fully awakened yet. London remained wrapped in a soft grey stillness. As though the world was caught in the last breath of a long dream. The dawn did not arrive suddenly, but crept in gently. A whisper of blue softening the sky. Like watercolor seeping into parchment. You step outside. Behind you, the warmth of the hearth lingers at your back. Like a hand laid softly on your shoulder. You pause for a moment. Taking in the air, cold, but not biting. It brushes against your cheeks. Inviting your lungs to fill slowly, peacefully. The stones beneath your feet are slick with frost. Each cobblestone carries a faint shimmer. As if the stars from last night had fallen and laid themselves to rest along the street. Your boots make the quietest sounds. A light crunch, a soft tap. Not loud enough to wake the day. Just enough to remind it that you are here. You breathe out. A thin mist trails from your lips, curling and vanishing like an unspoken thought. There's no rush. This morning is not built for haste. It is made of waiting, of softness. Of a city that allows itself to stretch slowly into the light. The shops are all still closed, their signs creaking lightly as they sway in the breeze. Each door remains shut. Each window still dark. It is the kind of silence that listens to itself. A bell somewhere far off tolls once, then falls silent again. Its echo hangs in the air like the tale of a lullaby. From a bakery down the lane, a gentle clang of iron and the muted rustle of cloth. Someone has risen before the rest, preparing warmth in the form of bread. Your footsteps carry you onward. Not quickly. Just enough to keep the cold from claiming your fingertips. You slide your hands into your coat pockets, and feel the edge of a coin, cold, smooth, real. A simple reminder. You are present. You are part of this morning. A light wind brushes past, rustling the edge of your scarf, carrying with it the faint scent of coal smoke, mixed with something sweeter. A trace of cinnamon, perhaps from the bakery, or from a memory. You reach the edge of a narrow bridge. Below it, the river is partially frozen, its surface broken by soft flows of moving water, whispering quietly beneath the ice. A bird takes flight beside you, its wings slicing through the morning air with silent grace. You feel the wind left in its wake on your cheek. You rest your hand on the bridge's stone rail. It is cool to the touch. The kind of cold that does not bite, but settles into the skin and stills the breath. An old man passes behind you, his cane gently tapping against the cobblestones. He does not speak, does not look your way, but you sense his presence, like a page turning in a familiar book. Far ahead, the sky begins to brighten. Not with brilliance, but with softness. It is a kind of light that doesn't command, but rather, asks permission to exist. It spreads slowly across the rooftops, filling the spaces between chimney smoke and weathered stone. You walk again. The trees beside the path are bare, but adorned in tiny droplets of frost that glint like quiet jewels. They do not demand attention. They simply are. Another bell chimes. You do not count the hour. Time, here, is not about numbers. It is about pacing. About the space between breaths. About the sound of footsteps in a world not quite awake. You turn a corner. The city begins to stir. A shutter opens. A cartwheel turns. A dog stretches in the doorway of its home. But none of it rushes. This day is not in a hurry. It will arrive slowly, like snow settling on a quiet hill. You pause once more, watching your breath float into the air. And for a moment, you feel as if you, too, are part of the mist, part of the sky, part of this peaceful, frozen dawn. There is no need to speak, no need to hurry. You are here. You are walking. And that, in itself, is enough. It is afternoon now. The sun has lost the sharpness of morning, softening into a golden hue that coats the rooftops and stretches quietly over the stone walls. Its warmth is not strong, but gentle, like the hand of a friend resting on your shoulder without a word. You find yourself walking toward the old library. The path is lined with bare trees, their shadows crisscrossing the cobblestones like thin veins of ink drawn by a careful hand. The building rises slowly before you, red brick mellowed by age, its windows tall and silent, its roof holding centuries of snow, wind, and dreams. The front door is made of oak, dark and weathered. It opens without sound, and you step into a hush so complete. It feels like stepping inside the breath between thoughts. The air here is thick, not stifling, but full, as though it holds every story ever told, every word ever whispered between pages. You inhale. There is the scent of paper, old and curling at the corners, of ink that once flowed from quiet hands, of leather bindings, waxed floors, and perhaps even the faded aroma of dried lavender, tucked into some forgotten volume long ago. Your footsteps make soft, hollow sounds on the wooden floor. They do not disturb the silence, but rather become part of it. Small, rhythmic notes in a long, slow melody. The shelves rise high around you, taller than you remember, as though they've been growing while no one was looking. Books of every size, every language, every century, stand quietly together like monks in a timeless sanctuary. You run your fingers along the spines. The textures vary. Some smooth, some cracked, some with gilded lettering that catches the golden light and scatters it like whispers. You are not looking for anything. You are simply walking, letting the room choose your direction, letting the silence guide your thoughts. In one corner, a ladder leans gently against the shelves. A chair rests nearby, its cushion worn to the shape of 100 readers. A small table holds an open book, its pages splayed as if left in mid-sentence by someone who meant to return. You sit in the chair. It accepts your presence with the ease of an old friend. You lay your hands in your lap and listen. To the quiet. Not the absence of sound, but the fullness of it. Far above, a dust mote spins slowly through a shaft of afternoon light. Its dance is aimless, and yet entirely at peace. You watch it until it disappears. From a far room, a book is closed. The gentle thump echoes softly, as though the library is exhaling. Outside, you can see the sky turning. Not yet dusk, but no longer noon. The light that enters the windows now is tinged with pale blue, cooling the warmth, wrapping the walls in a gentle twilight. You lean your head back. The ceiling rises high above you, crossed with wooden beams that feel almost like ribs. The bones of an ancient, breathing thing. You close your eyes. You imagine the stories that live here. Of kings and gardens. Of distant lands and long-forgotten names. They do not call to you loudly. They simply hum. A soft background vibration, like the murmur of a river beneath ice. Someone walks by. Their steps are as soft as yours. Perhaps slower. They pass. And the silence returns. You are not alone. But you are completely at peace. The room breathes. The shelves wait. And you sit still. Wrapped in golden shadow. Held in the arms of the quiet. You don't need to read. You don't need to understand. You are here. And the library, with its warm, whispering pages, is glad for your company. The morning has just begun. But the sun has yet to break through. The sky hangs like a damp gray curtain, gently draped over the rooftops, chimney pots, and sleepy trees of London. The air carries a chill. But it is not sharp. It wraps around you like a thin wool shawl. Cool to the touch. But strangely comforting. You walk slowly down a narrow cobbled lane. Your footsteps soft upon the stones, which are slick with dew and fog. The mist drapes the street in quiet. It hovers low, moving like breath, curling around corners, rising gently from cellar grates and gutters. You are walking toward the market. You're not in a rush. There is no rush here. The vendors are just beginning to stir. Wooden shutters creak open. Canvas canopies unfurl like waking wings. And behind them, familiar hands arrange baskets of bread, bowls of berries. Bundles of herbs still damp with frost. A woman in a thick shawl sits behind a cart of apples. Their red skins glisten in the dim light like lanterns in the mist. She looks up and smiles at you. Not brightly, but with the soft recognition of someone who has seen many mornings. And welcomes this one just the same. You walk on. The market is quiet. Not silent. There are sounds. A broom sweeping stone. A kettle boiling on a brass stove. The quiet bleating of a lamb tied to a post. But everything is softened, as if filtered through a blanket of wool. You stop by a stall that smells of fresh bread. The loaves are still warm, stacked in tidy rows. Their crusts crackled just so. Their scent rich with the sweetness of yeast and flour, and the gentle toast of the morning fire. The baker nods at you. He tears a piece from a small round loaf and offers it. You take it. It is warm in your hand. You bite into it. It is soft inside, with a crust that gives way like old parchment. A little salt, a little honey. Simple. Perfect. Across the way, a herb stand leans slightly to one side. Bundles of rosemary, sage, and thyme hang in neat rows. Their stems tied with twine. Their leaves releasing tiny breaths of scent each time the wind stirs. You pause before a bunch of lavender. You run your fingers over the buds. And the fragrance rises up. Sweet and earthy. Like the memory of a garden in late summer. Further on, a tea vendor pours steaming cups from a copper pot. The steam curls upward in slow spirals, carrying the scent of clove and orange peel. You take a cup. It is warm against your palms. You sip. The flavor rolls over your tongue like a quiet wave. Spiced, but soft. A warmth that lingers. You find a place to sit. An old bench beneath a crooked sign. The fog has begun to thin, letting in gentle stripes of light. They stretch across the stones and shine faintly on the glass windows above. Somewhere nearby, a violin is being tuned. The notes are soft, tentative, like birdsong caught in a dream. You close your eyes for a moment. And the sound drifts into you. Not as music, but as feeling. The market is beginning to wake fully now. But still it does not rush. It stretches. It exhales. It greets the day like an old friend. You watch the people pass. Some nod at you. Some do not. But no one is hurried. No one breaks the calm. A child chases a pigeon through a ray of morning light. The bird lifts off slowly, its wings slicing through the golden mist like a painter's brush across canvas. Everything around you feels soft. Like memory. Like sleep still clinging to the edge of waking. And for now, you are not thinking about where you are going. You are simply here. In this moment. With warm bread in your belly. The scent of herbs on your hands. And the quiet rhythm of a waking market all around you. This is a morning that asks nothing of you. It offers only stillness. And warmth. And a place to breathe. You leave the gentle hum of the market behind. Your footsteps leading you along a quiet path. One that winds softly toward the outskirts of the city. This path is narrow and cobbled. Lined with crumbling stone walls and clusters of ivy. Fallen leaves crunch softly beneath your shoes. Their colors muted in the fading light. A blend of amber, tobacco brown, and soft ash gray. The air grows cooler. But not biting. Just cool enough to awaken your skin. To make you gently pull your collar closer. Your breath visible in small puffs that dissolve into the evening. Above you, the sky is beginning its slow transformation. No rush. Just a graceful fading from steel blue to dusty rose. Then into lavender, then plum. Each shift like a breath. Each layer like a curtain drawn slowly over the day. You arrive at the gate of Windsor Gardens. It is low and iron wrought. Half covered in tangled roses and vines. You push it gently. It opens with barely a sound. And just like that, you step into another world. Inside the garden, the hush is almost sacred. The trees, tall oaks, wide-limbed elms, stand like sentinels watching over the earth. Their leaves shimmer faintly in the low light. And the breeze that moves through them feels less like wind and more like breath. Stone paths meander quietly between rows of hedges. The flowers here do not scream with color. They whisper. Dusky pinks, pale purples, sleepy whites. Their petals move with the breeze. Like sighs. Their scents rise gently into the evening air. Lavender, thyme, crushed mint. Subtle and grounding. You walk slowly. Without destination. Your hands trail along the tops of low shrubs. Your fingers brushing over cool leaves and fading blooms. A cat appears. Gray and soft-footed. It pauses mid-path and looks at you. It blinks once, slowly. Then continues on. Disappearing behind a patch of rosemary. As if it were part of the garden itself. You come to a bench. Weathered wood. Its paint worn away by time and seasons. It sits in the shadow of a gnarled apple tree. Its limbs twisting gently toward the sky. You sit. And everything around you seems to sigh. A long, slow exhale of a day winding down. You watch as the last of the daylight brushes across the tops of the hedges. The trees catch the final gold. Their branches outlined like ink on parchment. A robin calls from somewhere unseen. Not loud, just once. Then silence again. Far off, a church bell tolls. Soft. Not insistent. It drifts through the air like fog. A sound with no edges. You notice the small things now. The way the grass glows silver where dew is forming. The way petals tremble in the breeze. The gentle flicker of a lantern being lit at the garden's edge. You inhale. The scent is deep and layered. Wood smoke from a nearby cottage. Damp earth. And the faint sweetness of something blooming just out of sight. Somewhere, unseen, someone is tending the garden. You hear the creak of a wheelbarrow. The soft thud of soil being turned. A figure passes. An older man with a straw hat. Pushing the barrow slowly. Pausing now and then to gather fallen branches. He does not speak. He nods as he passes. A silent greeting. As if he's seen you here many evenings before. And perhaps you have been here. In other dreams. Other evenings. Other quiets. The sky dims. Stars begin to appear. Not all at once. But patiently. One by one. As if waiting for your attention. You lean back against the bench. Your body feels heavier now. In that soft, comforting way. That comes before sleep. Your limbs relax. Your thoughts begin to slow. You are not thinking anymore. You are only feeling. Only listening. Only being. The wind moves through the trees again. And the leaves respond in a soft rustle. Like whispered lullabies. Somewhere in the garden. A violin begins to play. A single, quiet note. Long and low. Like the call of memory itself. You close your eyes. And let it all wash over you. The scents. The sounds. The slowness. You are no longer watching the garden. You are part of it now. A quiet thought in its mind. A still breath in its evening. And as the darkness settles fully, the stars take their places. And the world, like you, sinks softly into peace. The night has fallen, quietly and without fanfare. But the London mist remains. Thick as wool and slow-moving. It winds through narrow alleys. Coils around lampposts like old memories. And wraps the city in a soft hush. You walk slowly down a cobblestone street. Each step softened by the dampness underfoot. Your breath escapes in small clouds. Vanishing into the mist almost as soon as it forms. The world is dim here. Bathed in amber glow from scattered gaslights. Their halos flickering gently in the fog. In your hand is a faded invitation. Handwritten in looping script on aged paper. Corners curled with time. The scent of old ink still lingering faintly. It is an invitation to a place few know. A private library nestled deep within the quiet heart of London. Open only at night. And only to those seeking stillness and reflection. You reach a modest wooden door. Paint chipped. A single brass handle worn smooth by years of quiet comings and goings. Above it, a lantern glows warmly, casting soft shadows onto the fog-slicked pavement. You push the door gently. It opens without resistance. A wave of warmth meets you. Not just from the air inside, but from the space itself. A hush, a calm, a deep comfort. The scent of paper, wood polish, and beeswax drifts in the air, wrapped in the slightest trace of lavender. This library is not grand. There are no marble staircases, no echoing halls or hushed attendants. It is a sanctuary, a secret held tenderly by time. The shelves are tall and dark with age, made of old oak, their edges softened by touch and dust. Books of every shape and thickness line them, their spines worn, titles faded or gilded in foreign languages. Some are hand-bound. Some seem never to have been opened. You remove your coat. Hang it quietly on a hook near the door. It swings gently, then comes to stillness. You feel your shoulders loosen. In the center of the room, a wide wooden table rests beneath a hanging oil lamp. Its glow is steady and golden, illuminating a ceramic teapot, a steaming cup, and a single hourglass, already half drained. You sit in the high-backed chair. Its cushion soft and forgiving. It welcomes your weight. And you exhale, your breath catching the light for just a moment. You don't open a book right away. You let the space wrap around you. Its warmth, its slowness, its deep and patient silence. After a moment, you reach for a book at random. Its cover is plain, its leather supple and cool. You open it slowly. The pages give a faint whisper. The text within is written in delicate, curling letters. You do not rush. You read not with your mind, but with your senses. Feeling the texture of the paper. Watching the light glide over each page. Hearing the soft turning like a wind through autumn leaves. Outside, the fog thickens. Through the tall windows, you can see only outlines. Tree branches, rooftops. And the warm, slow blink of lanterns fading in and out of view. Somewhere in the distance, a carriage passes. The rhythm of its wheels on the stones adds a quiet heartbeat to the world. Steady and soft. You lift the cup to your lips. The tea is warm and sweet, with hints of honey and orange peel. It glides down your throat, like silk, like memory, like home. You do not speak. There is no need. This place is a conversation in stillness. The books around you hum with stories. Not aloud, but in feeling. As if the room itself remembers every reader. Every moment of curiosity and rest. The hourglass turns itself. Grains slipping down like stars falling in slow motion. Each grain is a breath. A blink. A heartbeat. The lamp flickers gently. Its light a little lower now. A little softer. It paints the table in warm shadows. And throws your own silhouette. Long and blurred against the wooden floor. You lean back in the chair. Your body sinking further. Your mind loosening from its threads. No thoughts now. Just the sound of distant wind. The creak of the shelf settling. and your own quiet rhythm. You close the book. Lay it gently on the table. Your fingers brushing its cover like a goodbye. Somewhere in the far corner, a music box begins to play. Its notes are slow and uneven, like a lullaby remembered from childhood. The room does not fade. It simply dissolves into calm. And so do you. You are no longer a visitor. You are part of the library now. Another quiet chapter. Another story waiting to sleep. Before the sky begins to brighten. Before even the birds dare sing. London rests beneath a soft and sleepy blanket of mist. The air is thick but gentle, moist with the memory of rain. And every cobblestone, chimney, and rooftop is wrapped in the hush of early dawn. You awaken not from sound, but from a subtle shift in the world. A gentle nudge, like a whisper brushing against your dreams. You rise, slowly, drawing on a warm woolen coat. Its weight comforting. Its scent familiar. A trace of old smoke, lavender soap, and quiet mornings past. You open the door to the river. The hinges creak softly. A sound as old as the bricks that frame your home. Outside, the world is silver and gold. Glowing not with sunlight, but with the memory of lanterns still flickering in the mist. The gas lights along the street form halos in the fog. Pools of warm amber light, floating like lanterns on a dream. Each one hums faintly. A low whisper in a city still dozing. Your boots make a muted sound as you step onto the damp stone path. Each step cushioned by the moisture in the air. The mist kisses your cheeks, cool and soft, like the breath of the river itself. The Thames flows quietly nearby, its surface glassy and pale, a ribbon of liquid silver beneath the fog. Occasionally a ripple forms, drifting outward like a sigh. You pause at the railing, iron, cool beneath your fingers, and lean forward gently, gazing into the soft blur of the world. Across the water, the silhouette of distant warehouses, their outlines faded as if drawn in chalk, wait silently. All is still. In the distance, a low clang of metal, perhaps a fisherman tending his boat, or the echo of some ancient bell carried by the mist. It is not loud, but deep, resonating in the quiet like a heartbeat beneath the city. You walk slowly now, following the curve of the river. The buildings are low and dark, their chimneys exhaling faint wisps of steam. Every window is shut, every curtain drawn. But within those homes, people rest, warm and untouched by the fog. A cluster of ivy clings to a nearby wall, each leaf tipped with dew, catching the faint glow of a nearby lamp. A droplet forms, grows heavy, and falls. You reach a small arched bridge, its stones worn smooth by centuries of passing feet. As you cross, you spot a swan gliding beneath you, its feathers pure white against the misty water. Moving so slowly, it might be part of the dream. On the other side, you find a wooden pier jutting out into the river. Its planks are slick with fog, and they creak underfoot, like the pages of an old book turning themselves. You sit on a weathered bench. Next to you, an old man sits silently. A wide-brimmed hat pulled low. A steaming cup cradled in his hands. He does not look your way. You do not speak. Yet somehow, you are companions in stillness. Time drifts. From above, a few pigeons sweep past. Their wings slicing through the air. With barely a sound. Their shapes vanish into the gray. You pull a small, worn book from your pocket. A book of poems. Its cover soft from years of touch. You open to a familiar page. And read not aloud. But within. Beside the sleeping river. Where silence walks in mist. The soul finds what the morning forgets. Stillness. And a gentle wish. The words settle into your chest. Filling the quiet spaces. You close the book. Gently. Hold it in your lap. The sky is beginning to change now. Not fully light. But softening. A faint blue blooming beneath the gray. The mist has begun to lift just slightly. Not enough to vanish. But enough to reveal outlines. Of rooftops. Of chimney smoke. Of life stirring quietly in the distance. You rise again. Walking back the way you came. The river behind you continues its silent flow. Carrying time along with it. Slow and eternal. No part of this morning will shout. No part of it will press. It will only drift. And you with it. Into whatever gentle moment waits next. The morning fog has begun to lift. But the city remains quiet. Still wrapped in the softness of early day. You walk through a narrow alley. Your steps slow and silent. Until you arrive at the entrance to a forgotten garden. And within it, a small, glass-walled greenhouse. It isn't grand or opulent. Nor does it boast the fine craftsmanship of the royal conservatories. Instead, it sits tucked between ivy-covered brick walls. Like a secret whispered by time. A place the city seems to have overlooked. You gently push open the old iron gate. It gives a soft click. And swings inward with a slow sigh. As if remembering every hand that had passed before you. The greenhouse is misted over with delicate droplets. Each one catching and breaking the light. Scattering tiny rainbows across the fogged glass. Sunlight filters in through the panes. Broken and softened. Falling like golden silk over the stone floor and leafy shadows. You open the creaking wooden door and step inside. Immediately, the air changes. It is warm, moist, alive. The scent of soil and leaf and blooming petals enfolds you like a familiar blanket. Each breath feels deeper. Richer. As though you're inhaling peace itself. The moss beneath your feet is soft. Cushioning every step. As if the ground wishes to hold you gently. All around, ferns unfurl. Palms stretch upward. And broad, veined leaves sway faintly. Whispering secrets to the still air. You move slowly between rows of wooden shelves. Where each plant rests in its place like a cherished memory. Some have handwritten labels. Their names inked in delicate script. Words that sound like poetry when spoken aloud. At the center of the greenhouse. You find a small round table. On it rests a ceramic teapot, 2 empty cups, and an open journal filled with sketches of leaves and petals. Each drawing precise, yet full of warmth, as though the person who drew them was more gardener than scientist, more poet than botanist. You sit down, the wooden chair creaking beneath you like a soft exhale. You pour yourself a cup of tea. Steam rises slowly, carrying the subtle scent of lemon balm and lavender. The first sip is comforting, a warmth that settles in your chest, gentle and smooth, as though the tea itself was brewed from sunlight and memory. You lean back in your chair, eyes half closed, listening to the delicate sound of water droplets falling from glass to leaf, from leaf to earth. Each drop, a lullaby. Each pause between them, a breath. The plants around you seem to lean in, not to watch, but to be near, to share in the silence you offer them, to wrap you in their living stillness. A breeze slips through a cracked pane of glass, carrying with it the cool fragrance of the garden outside. Rose, soil, green leaves. It dances between the ferns, ruffling their edges, and brushes lightly against your face, like the touch of a memory. You rise again, and walk to the corner where an old wooden harmonium rests. Your fingers find a single key. Press down. A low, warm note escapes. Not music, but presence. It hums into the greenhouse. And for a moment, it feels as though every plant has paused to listen. You leave the harmonium untouched after that single note. Return to your seat, your body relaxing deeper with each breath. The tea is cooler now, but the peace within you is deeper. You fold your arms on the table. Rest your forehead gently upon them. Outside, the world continues quietly. But inside this greenhouse, you are suspended in the softest moment of the day. No rush. No worry. Just the gentle rhythm of leaf and breath, of mist and stillness, of morning holding you in the warmest silence. Evening descends softly over the city, like a velvet curtain pulled slowly across the sky. The rooftops of London shimmer faintly in the golden remnants of the sun, and the world seems to hold its breath. Between day and night, you walk down a narrow stone path, the kind worn smooth by generations of quiet footsteps. The buildings on either side are aged and dignified, with soot-darkened bricks and tall windows, each one like a closed eyelid resting in slumber. Gas lamps begin to flicker to life, their flames dancing behind glass, casting gentle halos onto cobblestones, as though the city is whispering goodnight. Your boots click lightly against the damp ground, and the cold air brushes your cheeks with a softness that suggests snow is near. You pass a small pastry shop, where the warm scent of cinnamon and sugar seeps out through tiny cracks in the wooden frame. Inside, you glimpse the golden glow of a single lamp, shelves lined with ginger biscuits, and a little gramophone playing a soft, crackling tune. You pause for a moment, not to enter, but to let the warmth of the scene settle gently into your memory. The wind stirs again, this time carrying with it a few hesitant flakes of snow. Not quite whole, but enough to flutter past your sleeve, like curious whispers from the sky. Wrapped in your woolen cloak, you turn toward the hill that leads to the old clock tower. Its bell hasn't rung in years, yet it still stands firm above the city, a quiet observer of countless winters. You climb the steps slowly, your breath soft and visible, rising like clouds from your chest. Each footfall echoes faintly against the stones, then disappears into the thickening hush. At the top, the city unfolds below, rooftops and chimneys stretching toward the misty river. The Thames glimmers faintly, a silver ribbon lost in fog. No sound of water reaches you, only the feeling of movement beneath the silence. You sit on a weathered bench beside the tower, its wood smooth with time, its back curved perfectly to cradle your body. From here, you can feel the city exhale a long, peaceful sigh as it prepares for nightfall. The last blush of daylight lingers in the west, just above the line of smoke and rooftops. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling the wooden slats beneath your palms, the weight of the cloak on your shoulders, the delicate press of night as it nestles into your skin. Your thoughts drift gently to the warm tea house by the greenhouse, the scent of lavender and honey, the hush of libraries, and the softness of moss beneath your shoes. Each memory a petal, each petal falling slowly into the quiet pool of your mind. And then, just as twilight gives way to full night, the first real snowflake descends. It floats, slow and certain, landing on your knee, and melting without sound. Another follows, then another. The world does not rush. It simply receives. The snow comes like sleep, gradual, inevitable, comforting. It cloaks the rooftops, softens the footsteps, dims the lamps until they glow like distant stars beneath a woolen sky. You remain seated, wrapped not only in your cloak, but in the peace of the hour, in the gentleness of a city that has finally, completely, fallen silent. And in that silence, you feel it. Not an ending, but a folding in, a return to stillness, a winter lullaby that promises warmth within the cold. As your breath slows, you lean your head back, eyes closed, heart full. Tonight, sleep will come as gently as snow.